All right, we have a interest related question. Yeah, so annual interest. Gopal borrows rupees X from Ankit at 8% annual interest. He then adds rupees Y of his own money and lends X plus Y to Ishan. Okay, whatever he borrowed, he lends that. And so that is irrelevant. I mean, he adds Y and that is just extra information. So he's lending X plus Y to Ishan at 10% annual interest. Great. So he borrows money from Ankit. We don't know either of X or Y, but this is known. 8% and 10%, that is known. So that should be crucial. All right. At the end of the year, after returning Ankit's dues, the net interest retained by Gopal is the same as that accrued to Ankit. Okay. So if you have Gopal, whatever interest Gopal has accrued, he gives a part of it to Ankit, and after that transfer, both have equal. So obviously, Gopal had double the interest accrued from the other person, Ishan, as Ankit accrued from Gopal. So what I'm doing mentally is something like the relationship that is coming to my mind is, so let's say Gopal has to pay a certain amount, let's say A, to Ankit. So he has to pay this A amount to Ankit, and from Ishan has to pay a certain amount to Gopal. So let's say we don't know that. What is that certain amount to Gopal? But the point is that after Gopal gets this money, whatever is this amount, he gives this A amount to Ankit, and after that he has A amount left. So this should be 2A, right? So now I hope this is clear why this is happening. So effectively, whatever interest Gopal has generated from the money lent to Ishan, Ankit has generated half of it by lending it to Gopal. So effectively, what we know is 10%. Yeah, 10% was the rate of interest. So 10% of X plus Y is equal to twice of, so 2 times 8%. So we can write this directly as 16%. So 16% of X, right? Because 2 times of 8% of X, double the amount. So now we can quickly solve this. So we get 6% of X is equal to 10% of Y. So 10% of Y is equal to 6% of X. I'm not writing the off every time. I hope you can understand that. So do this carefully. So X by Y is equal to 5 by 3. So this is what we have, right? This is the ratio of X by Y. Great. So this is understood now, I hope. Now coming to the remaining bit. So on the other hand, from here on the other hand, had Gopal lent rupees X plus 2Y to Ishan at 10%, then the net interest retained by him would have increased by 150 bucks. Okay, now understand this. Whatever he has to pay to Ankit, that doesn't change because he has borrowed X amount. So whenever he says on the other hand, Gopal to Ishan has changed. So Ankit to Gopal doesn't change, right? So whatever Gopal pays to Ankit is still the same amount. So that doesn't change. So this 150 rupees that Gopal generates extra, that should come from this extra Y that we have, right? Here we had Y and now we have 2Y. So the extra Y generates this 150. So effectively what we now know is that 10% of Y, so this I believe you can do mentally also, 10% of Y is equal to 150, implies 100% is 1500, right? So implies Y is 1500. So that's pretty simple. So now we know X value also. X by Y is 5 by 3. But what we need here, all the interests are compounded annually. Huh? Okay, that doesn't matter. I mean, so that was a surprise. But if they're compounded annually, it doesn't matter because everything is 1 year only. I believe nothing has been mentioned. Yeah. So everything is at the end of the year. So yeah, everything is after 1 year. That was a surprise after everything. Then find the value of X plus Y. So X plus Y will be 8 parts. You can directly do that. But anyhow, let's figure out X. If you are good with ratio, you can figure this out. 3 parts is 1500, 8 parts is 4000. So, but anyhow, you can just solve this, nothing too much to do. So 4000 will be the answer here. So pretty straightforward in this question. Nothing too much to solve here. Just that this ratio helps us in the future. So I would say somewhere in the range of 1 to 1.5 minutes should be fine for this question, because it will take a bit of time to read and then relate. If you find it difficult to relate this second relationship, so this relationship was important in this case. If you have a problem understanding this relationship, then you will definitely have either problem to solve it completely, or I mean problem to solve it at all, or it might be too much time consuming for you to solve. I would say round two question, nevertheless, even if you are being able to understand this relationship while reading, it's a verbose question. There's a lot of missing information. It's better that you don't add time pressure to it. So in the first round of scanning, you'll always have a little bit of time pressure if you are getting stuck in a problem. So it's better that you do it in round two when you have that confidence and you have developed, solved a lot of questions already. So in the second round, you should ideally solve a question like this. So that's it for this question. I think nothing more has to be explained for this. Hopefully everything was understood. Thank you.